In this series, we're going to start to talk a little bit about display and visibility graphics. And a big part of Revit is how things look and how you get them to look the way you want. I'm going to go up to my application pull down and say open, go to my sample folder here, and Revit Architecture Advanced Sample Project will open that up. There we have it. We can see I still have my dimension toolbar. Watch what happens. I don't even have to place it on any particular spot. I can just drag it up there and it'll automatically go back to its home location here. Isn't that neat? So we're talking about introduction really to some of the display aspects. So we have all of our different views in Revit. We have ceiling plans and floor plans and 3D views and elevations and sections and all kinds of views here in our project browser. So until we get down here to schedules, or I should say sheets, these are all views and they're all controlled individually with display. Then we take these views and we place them on our sheets, and then it's more or less what you see is what you get on the sheets. Then we have from here down, it's just families and stuff like that, which have visibility impact, but these are really all the views up in renderings and detail. So it's really to get what you want on your sheets. It's important to be able to control the display of a view. This view you can see is shaded. It's not a rendered view because the trees aren't actually real, but it's close. It's got some shadows turned on and it's got, the sky and stuff like that. So you can see in this particular view, we've got some display settings that are down in here. So some of these control our day-to-day work and some of them impact. If I click on here and say hidden line, it'll switch that display to be hidden line. That's just one of many settings that we can change. For each particular view, you can go up here to visibility graphics, override, and graphics display. You can click on here, and inside of here you can do all kinds of wonderful things. You can say, okay, I want to see sketchy lines, make this look kind of jittery, and I want to turn shadows on. I want nice ambient shadows, and I can turn some lighting on and turn the lighting up and turn the shadows down and hit apply, which is just a little bit off screen here. And then it'll change that view. So these settings work best in a perspective or a 3D view, although you can use them in a plan view. And then I can hit OK on that. And then if I zoom in, you can see, it's a little bit kind of sketchy and stuff like that. So just as an example of some of the display stuff. Now, if we go to a floor plan, although we can also make it jittery and all that good stuff. Generally we treat floor plans a little bit different. It depends on if the plan is going on a sheet or if it's just a working floor plan. Quite often we create views in Revit that really are just for day-to-day coordination and drafting. We're not putting the view necessarily onto a sheet. This one you can see has tags and stuff and it's going on a sheet. Now, do you want the surface pattern of the floor to show up? That's a display setting. We can turn that on and off. What's the scale of the view? Annotative objects change depending on the scale. If I change the scale and say, this is at 1 to 200, all my annotation objects are going to get bigger. If I say, it's a 1 to 50 view, then my annotation views will get smaller. Okay. And then we could then clip it by going down to here and we can go to our show our crop region and then we click on there. It shows us our crop region, which is the big box. And then we can take that crop region and we can, start to crop that. Okay. And then click out. Okay. We can take this guy and we can grip that and pull that in. We can turn the visibility of the crop region off, or we can turn the cropping on or off with this. This turns the cropping on and off. Down here, this actually turns the display of the cropping on or off. We've got shadows, we've got detail levels, coarse, medium, and fine, and the objects will change if they've been preset to view differently in coarse, medium, and fine. So you can change that. Maybe gives you a little more detail. Not good at 1 to 200, but it's good when you're zoomed in at 1 to 10 or 1 to 20 or 1 to 50. Okay, so we've got that type of display. And elevations are no different. We can double click on an elevational view, and inside of here, it's set to be hidden line. We can say, okay, show me the shaded view of that, maybe for presentation purposes, or maybe show me the realistic view or consistent colors. Okay, a rendering is different. Rendering, you pick the rendering button, which is seen when we go into a 3D view. You can look square on at a 3D view, but it has to be in that type of view. So just a little introduction here into some of the display settings inside of here. When you click nothing in Revit, when you're in here, these are properties of the view. Okay. If you pick on something, then your properties will change. If you pick nothing, then the properties are the properties of the view you happen to be in. And the last thing I can mention is a view template. If you like the way this view looks and you want to apply it to other views, then you go in here and you make yourself a view template and you name it and save it and then apply it to the other views. And then if you make a change to the view template, it then populates all those different views. So you can have a view template for your floor plans, for your elevations, for your presentation plans.